Hello, this is Lance from Merit Gaming. We were playing Final Fantasy XI, and yes, it did wake me up here. Almost freaked out because it looked like my controller wasn't working, but it is. Okay, good. I'm kind of tempted to go over and get that other manual so I can warp here using it, but I guess I can warp using the crystal. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But anyways, we should look at some Final Fantasy news. By the way, I thought a lot about, like, apparently I'm supposed to defeat someone called the Dark Lord. I think it happens in rank 6. Whatever rank, I don't understand what ranks are. So I think between these three guides, this beginner guide, this other beginner guide by Sober Dwarf, and this Final Fantasy Wiki mission guide, I should be able to do it. I might accidentally do some of the expansion, but we'll get over it. So, news. Final Fantasy, there is a sale. I haven't looked at it yet. Ooh, it's a Humble Bundle sale. I've already got most of this, I think. Digital Twin Pack, Remastered. There's 9, 10, 12. I wonder if we should go with buying 12. I'll have to take a look. I might even own 12. I don't know if I own 13. 14 I already is free, I believe, anyway. Online Complete Edition, Collector's Edition. Might check it out. And of course I have 16. I don't know if I have the Complete Edition. I have 15. I don't have the Windows Edition that I can remember. Anyways, I can check out some of these. Final Stranger Paradise, which I actually kind of liked. And it looks like basically all the Theater Rhythm. I like Theater Rhythm. I might have to take it out and take a look at it, because I don't know if I have the. I don't have it for PlayStation. I have it for Switch. So I don't know if it's on the Switch. But anyway, interesting sale. Final Fantasy VII Remake Wii 2. I suppose what that says. No. We're just days away for its debut on Nintendo's newest console. Third of the system's built-in storage. This will probably be the first actual game that's not a remake that I care about, at least that they'll put on it. 250, that's not terrible. 90, get over it. Welcome to the SSD world, or it's probably an M3 chip. Anyways. MicroSD Express cards. Is all memory up? Who knows? Anyways, it's a boring article. Final Fantasy Commander works even better in Secret Edge of Eternity's deck. So apparently there's a. I have that card. Advidea. Still have never played a single card of Magic using Final Fantasy Magic cards. Anyway, that's the news. Nothing big. Double check, make sure that we're. Yeah, we are. Alright, let's get home. Let's get home. We're about to level up. 17 already. Crazy, huh? Should we follow the regular path this time? No, we're not. Relearning my buttons here. Easy prey. Just get warmed up, get that level. Get through the tutorial. Finish it off. What did you do to me? Still have my EXP off, which is nice. I wonder how long it lasts. This thing just won't die, huh? More snap. Nothing cabbage. Actually, kind of want to go down south a little bit. Should we poke our head into the heavens this thing is? Since we're here anyway. I honestly don't think I got this far in 11, but this does seem faintly like... What happened to the crystal? There's no crystal over here. So that should be on the side of it, yeah. Quit it. Shattered to 1,000 pieces. Yeah, I noticed. Question is why. What is this strange thing? So we can't find higher level enemies somewhere else. Looks like it doesn't have an entrance anywhere. This is new though. It's disappeared there. Looks like no entrance. Greetings, traveler. A little time to chat. Must focus on my prayer. Good talk. This looks different. This might be an entrance. We could go in there and get our butts kicked and it would start. It's at level like 30 and before you start losing XP by dying. Yeah, that's not an entrance. So, okay, well, let's go further south. If we can, let's look at the map first. We can't. It's not this way. Looks like it might be like a carcass. Ooh, what's that? It's just a weird looking orc. Easy prey. heading south. Yep. Let's have a look around, shall we? Need bats is what I need. And those honeybees. I swear I saw some. I came here before. Rock eater. It's a dead end. Looks like it. I'll climb my way back out of this. If I can. This terraces. Looks like my backyard. Care about works. Actually, now that I think about it, ooh, crap! I don't get those often. Still getting sword skill still raising, which is good. It's not as grindy of a game as I thought it would be, to be honest, which is nice, actually. I mean, you level fairly quickly in my opinion. I think I only need to get to level 50 to beat the campaign to the point where I feel like it's cleared. I'm not going to put 300 hours on this thing. At least not as part of this playthrough. That becomes a non-casual playthrough at that point. That's a decent chunk of XP from that, actually. What I was going to look at on the map is the wide scan. Yeah, you can like kind of find the enemies you want. None of those things are what I want. But oh, we'll keep on keeping on. Tempted to poke my head down to the next world. Why not? Think I'll ruin anything? Nah. What's the worst that could happen? I die and get resurrected where I need to be. There's the road. Yeah, the dunes. Let's go take a look. Go take a little look-see. It'd be nice to have a mount though. Not gonna lie. Let's go thwack at something that's not easy prey. Just get a level up is all we need, right? By the way, when I started out the game, I swear it was actually raining. Here we go. Nice. Decent challenge. Let's do it then. Try not to get caught up in a multi-creature fight. There's not enough full hit points. She also is probably not smart. Yeah, he's killing me more than I'm killing him. This fight. It's all good. Get some decent sword skills at least. And just keep missing. Ooh. 44. Oh, he's gotta miss a couple more times. There we go. I missed. He missed. I'm like blinded or something. At least I get my parrying skill and all that up. So it's worth it, right? And dead. Best shortcut ever. We need bats. That's for you. these are probably useless. Yeah, too weak to be worthwhile. There's the castle. Oh, that's not the castle. Teleportation. How much is it gonna cost me? Seems expensive. Remember the good old days of wild sheep were crushing me? Should have went down south and got those honeybees. So I think I know where they are. See if that guy's dumb enough to attack me, I'll take it. But he's not that dumb. There's the castle. Excuse me. I need to use that mute button more often. Get a mount. It's a weird name. Hi there, I'm Stampede Bison, friendly neighborhood Smile Sergeant. I'm in charge of running the level Smile Boot Camp in this area. Yeah, I don't care about smiles. Sorry, dude. Sounds like a side quest that just is not my Orcish scouts lurk in the shadows. I'm supposed to get a bunch of those Orcish scouts. Nope, nope, nope. What are those little markers? My map. Pleased to make your acquaintance, learn your way around, but take your time and you'll be fine. On the main menu, objective list, quest submenu, records of eminence, behavior, take advantage. Okay. Trust initiative. Maps of the whole city. Apparently they're just tutorial people. That's why they show up on your map that way. Just try to give you guidance in a strange world. Yeah, one. Finished your mission. The Hologate Crystal. Just as I requested. Excellent work, Tartan 7. And now for some information regarding this little beauty. As long as you have this Hologate Crystal, you will be able to transport it by the appropriate spell of teleportation directly to the teleport from which you retrieved it. I doubt that you will have many opportunities to use it for the time being, but you would do well to remember what I have said. Several such teleport points exist scattered throughout Vana Diel. Each has its own specific gate crystal, which you will receive the first time that you examine any of them. Let me take this time to offer you a most heartfelt congratulations, Tartan 7. You have successfully completed all of the assignments I laid before you, and here I have a most fitting reward for you, a gift of 1,000 experience points and 3 free Choco passes. Nice. And I fear that I have nothing more to teach you. From now on, your lessons will be best learned by giving a mindful ear to others and being ever observant about your travels. Do remember, though, that the paths open before you will multiply greatly should you cooperate with other adventurers. Leveling, for example, is an endeavor made immeasurably more efficient and enjoyable in the company of others. It helps not only guarantee you some modicum of safety in numbers, but also rewards you with considerably more experience points than adventuring alone. This above does require a good deal of courage to approach an adventure you do not know, but I strongly encourage you to do so. It may prove to be the beginning of an extremely rewarding and long-lasting friendship. There may be still some small facets of adventuring that can continue to offer your advice on. Should you ever have any questions or anxieties, please do not hesitate to come and see me again. I will do my best to be of service and set your heart at ease. Go now and go well. The world awaits its next great adventurer, Tartan 7. You cannot obtain the free Choco passes without ever sorting your inventory. Current region, maybe? Residential areas. Oh, that one up there. We're in southern San Andreas, that's what I think I do. Even gives me a M. How much is it going to cost me? Pretty fast, which is good. Channel feature. Oh, no more. Well, I'm through with tutorials, so when do I start doing stories? Okay, let's listen to this video for a second.
Launcher. However, what we're interested in with that, there's only a few more things we have to do before we're ready for our first fight. We want to head towards the Bastok Markets exit, but before we head out, we want to speak to a few people. No disconnect off in-game. And before we get booted into the game, it's best to check our config. 60 frames per second. The other plugin is FFXIDB. Having the pause to open just to check, which allows you to a controller running Windows device without the need of what you have. Push button here into the game. We picked up our newbie gear and we're ready for combat. Well, real quick though, let's make some slight adjustments to our configurations in game. If you installed Windor and the plugins, you'll see we have a nice little mini map where we can move wherever we want. My preference is right here. To get our 60 FPS, we just type in /config space frame rate divisor 1, and there we go. We're also going to do a few other quality of life adjustments. From our menu, we're going to shift it and head towards the config options. One good thing to do is to set our chat filters. You can avoid certain information being displayed or have it held in the window as other text goes by. Personally, I recommend holding on to party chat, tells, and link shell chat while filtering out any text from NPCs or other non-group players. In the Windows setting, you can choose whether to have the information displayed in 2 separate windows for easier parsing and the look of your windows. In the miscellaneous settings, I prefer to have auto sort turned on, area display which shows your area of effect range, party icons which shows buffs party members have when selected, and timer display which shows the remaining time on your own buffs, all set to on. It's also a good idea to have auto disconnect off just in case you need to step away for an extended period. Otherwise, adjust the rest of the settings to your own personal preference. In your chat, you're also going to want to type /partyinfo space show TP. That way you can see your party members' tactical points in the status window. More on what that is later. With that, there's only a few more things we have to do before we're ready for our first fight. We want to head towards the Bastok Market's exit, but before we head out, we want to speak to a few people. The first of which is this Brigid model gentleman, or your national appropriate NPC, as follows. At first, he really doesn't want to discuss anything with you until you set the quest first step forward. To do that, we just go into our second menu, go to Quest, go to Records of Eminence, Tutorial, Basics, then select the aptly named quest. Once you do that, you talk to him and he'll introduce you to Record of Eminence, otherwise known as How I Stopped Complaining on Forums and Learned to Love the Sparks, or simply Sparks for short. Sparks are a currency that is typically earned by completing various in-game objectives, such as defeating so many enemies in a certain area, farming for certain item drops, dealing so much damage, and so on. You can in turn spend these sparks here to buy beginner gear and items, instead of depending on the exorbitant cost of NPCs or probably the lack of gear on the auction house. You won't have much to spend, but feel free to grab an upgrade for your sword and shield or for your red mage if you aren't satisfied with your onion dagger. The second person we want to speak to is this Galka named Goldago, or the appropriate NPCs shown here if you chose the other places. He provides his own quick tutorial explaining a few of the game's mechanics, but it's typically worth to do it just because it grants us a few useful items for later. The first thing he does is have us grab Signet, which provides us with some minor benefits and earns another currency called campaign points. Our reward for doing that is some meat jerky, food that gives us a little boost to our damage. With our food effect active, he sends us outside to train up our weapons a bit, and now, after all that preparation, we're finally ready to get into the game's combat. Head back to Bastok Mines and step outside the game's gate, and you're ready to kill your first innocent creature and become a real murder hobo. Almost. Just before we do that, we're going to open up our quest menu and start looking at the objectives again. Specifically, we're going to want to select Undertake an FOV training, Heal without using magic, and Vanquish one enemy, all found within the newly populated basic tutorial. Then we're going to want to go under combat and select Vanquish multiple enemies, deal 10 to 20 points of damage, total damage 1, total damage taken 1, total weapon skills 1. Then in combat spoils, we're going to select wind crystals and earth crystals. In spoils 2, we want honey, flintstones, and zinc ore. And finally, in the combat region, we're going to go under original areas 2 and select South Gustaberg. We're also going to want to check this floating book standing right beside the entrance. This is FOV, or Fields of Valor, which allow you to set objectives for certain enemies you're going to find, which after meeting those objectives you get some experience, some tabs, which are another form of currency, and a little bit of gil. Select page 1, which tells us to go kill 6 members of the bee family, set it to repeat, and you're good to go. Now, after all of that,
let's slaughter some bees.
Combat in Final Fantasy XI during the time of its release was a huge step beyond your typical turn-based style that the series had been known for. It's funny to think that this was actually a huge point of contention for the game, but really this is the grandfather of the action-based combat the series has now. If you played Final Fantasy XIV, or more contemporary Final Fantasy XII, this will all seem very familiar. To attack your enemies, simply select your target, press the confirm button to open up the combat menu, and select attack. Your character will automatically lock onto the target, draw their weapon, and if in close enough proximity, will auto attack at a frequency that depends on the delay of the weapon. The rules are the first guy to die loses. However, you're a red mage and you have more than just weapons. You also have spells. You would think you would have Cure as your first spell, but it was I.
don't know how
Dia,
very
Dia is a debuff that deals minor
effective
damage over time like a poison, as well as lowering an enemy's defense, so it's a good idea to use it every battle. If you haven't already,
Sometimes it does this because I don't have.
in close enough proximity, will auto attack at a frequency that depends on the delay of the weapon. The rules are the first.
So I have this problem with my YouTube.
Or
'cause-
more contemporary Final Fantasy XII, this will all seem very familiar. To attack your enemies, simply select your target, press the confirm button to open up the combat menu, and select attack. Your character will automatically lock onto the target, draw their weapon, and if in close enough proximity, will auto attack at a frequency that depends on the delay of the weapon. The rules are the first guy to die loses. However, you're a red mage and you have more than just weapons. You also have spells. You would think you would have Cure as your first spell, but it was I, Dia. Dia, or Dia, is a debuff that deals minor damage over time like a poison, as well as lowering an enemy's defense, so it's a good idea to use it every battle. If you haven't already, you can either go to your items from the main menu or from the combat menu and use the scroll, and your character will permanently have the spell for any job that can use it. To use the spell, go to your combat menu and select magic, select the spell, then target the target. The enemy can be quite some distance away, not even engaged yet, so it's best often to pull them using the spell and start combat with Dia rather than try to cast it mid-combat. Getting damaged while casting a spell risks it being interrupted. Our goal here is to learn our first weapon skill, which requires our weapon skill to be at least level 5. You notice as you're fighting, almost every action you take will increase a skill by a few points. As you hit, your weapon skill increases. As you get hit, you might notice your evasion, parrying, and blocking increases. As you cast Dia, your enfeebling skill increases, and so on. Another fun fact, this is actually an homage to Final Fantasy II's leveling system, which had foregone
Final
traditional
Fantasy
experience
II.
points in favor of skills leveling individually. Anyway, once our weapon skill hits level 5, we unlock our first weapon skill. To activate it, we go into our combat menu, select abilities, then to weapon skills, and then
Oh, I
select
forgot to
it,
use
then our
my-
target. Then wha-bam!
Job
Now,
skill.
with weapon skills, you can't just
You know,
use them
beat.
whenever. You need tactical points, at least
That
1,000
hair.
of them. TP is that blue meter beneath your HP and MP, and you get them when you successfully hit an enemy or when you take damage. You can hold up to 3,000 TP, and the more you have when you use your weapon skill, you will gain more potent effects, such as more damage or another effect that the weapon skill has. But for now, it's better to just use it when you have it, rather than wait for a full charge. Anyway, you'd be normally ready for the next part, but you're sick of tutorials and this isn't a speedrun, so just kill till your heart's content. Mainly you want to focus on worms and bees since they're the easiest targets, and they give us the drops we need to complete our Sparks quest, which in turn gives us bonus sparks and experience. It's best to stick around until you reach at least level 5. The enemies immediately outside the gate though are a bit weak, and you might notice you gain less and less experience from them. If we make a journey to the west, you'll encounter tougher variants that provide a bit more experience. Just be careful about traveling too far west or you'll be participating in the age-old Final Fantasy XI tradition of taking a dirt nap. To avoid meeting with a terrible fate, it's best to check an enemy before engaging them. With the target selected, go into your combat menu and select check, and it will tell you the enemy's strength in comparison to yours. Too weak means the enemy is so weak you won't gain any experience for defeating it. Easy prey means it's several levels below you, but defeating it will provide a nominal amount of experience. Decent challenge means it's a few levels below you and will provide some experience. Even match is equal to your level and provide standard experience. Tough is a level or two above you and will give you a little bit more experience. Very tough is a few levels above you and will provide increased experience. And incredibly tough is several levels above you and will provide experience up to a cap. That is, assuming you can even defeat it. If you defeat enemies even match or above in quick succession, you even gain more experience due to a chain bonus, but for now that's likely not going to be possible on your lonesome. For now, it's best to avoid any enemies that are very tough or above. That is, unless you have a party to back you up. After you reach level 5, feel free to head back home, tell them the good news, and not only learn how synthing works, which we're not going to do until much later, if at all, but after checking out the auction house forum, it gives you a coupon for an experience point boosty ring, which is especially useful if you didn't get one from the Gold World Pass. You have your choice between a Chariot, Empress, and Emperor band. Now, the Galco will tell you differently, but you almost always want to choose the Empress band in this case. Finally, since we're already level 5, we automatically complete his quest and get another useful item, the Raising Earring. Our newbie gear provides us with a re-raise effect automatically, but this can be useful later, so hold on to it. After that, Goldego will want us to head towards Kronstadt Highlands, or your region equivalent, but we're going to hold off on that journey now because we have money to make. Now, before you run down to the auction house to sell your stack of crystals, the early game of Final Fantasy XI doesn't quite work like that anymore. You know all those sparks we've been earning? Well, not only do we use that to equip ourselves, but we're going to use those to fund our early game. When you buy gear, you can also sell what you buy to one of the nearby shop NPCs for gil. This Sparks to Gil conversion, if you're diligent enough, can earn you just under 1 million gil a week before you hit the cap. Sparks are usually earned with a 10-to-1 gil ratio, so if you find yourself strapped for gil, just buy the most expensive item you can and sell it to the shop, which is typically going to be the Archeon shield found in the item's 70 to 98 spot. The limit for Sparks resets at Japanese midnight on Sunday, so if you have leftover Sparks, it's almost always best to unload them the night before. However, there will be times where you don't want to convert them to gil. You know our combat and magic skills? Even now you might notice that some might lag behind, not quite reaching the cap for your level. At lower levels it isn't as noticeable, but at higher levels you might be 20 or 30 levels behind the cap, because as Red Mage it's hard to keep up with all your skills. That's where the skill books come in. These items allow you to automatically gain a skill up when used, which are going to be useful for closing that gap, especially at higher levels. But for now, convert some Sparks into a couple of thousand in gil, and head towards the magic shop to buy a few new spells. Now, if Bastok is in last place in Conquest, which it, usually is, your spell selection might be a little limited, but it should be enough to get you by. Now, you might be ready to throw some rocks at some more bees at this point, but Final Fantasy XI is an MMO. It was ultimately designed with playing with other players in mind, but as you might have noticed, you're likely not finding anyone around your level. Continuing to grind alone at this point is going to be slow going, so we're going to go ahead and earn your trust. Trust are basically the NPC party members that you can summon into your party that help in filling the gaps for certain roles to essentially create your own party without the need for other players. It's nowhere near the same experience as playing with other players, but it does do a good enough job at giving you an idea of how the party dynamics work. Head to Port Bastok near the exit and talk to the Galco here, Clarion Star, or your nation's appropriate NPC here. He'll ask you to be part of the Trust Initiative, and then tell you to find a certain...
I'm gonna creep on this PC. Close by. Perfect. Yo, friend, no need to be so fleet of foot. Come, let me impart you upon the tantalizing motion of information. Firstly, hatch your interests such as yourself can surely appreciate the offer I'm about to lay forth for your consideration. I am Ganabon, and I am an esteemed member of the Story Juno Institute of Magical Studies. Perhaps I am repeating what you already know, but Juneau is a grand city far to the southeast of here that connects to the Kwana and Mardashia continents. The leading councils with me to come to this fair land of San Andrew on their sacred mission. Several months past our famed institute, with a lavish symposium in which we made privy to the public information about a new form of magic. This new form of incantations, which we call trust, would prove a mighty boon to adventurers of your caliber. A bevy of new experiences await should you choose to participate in this grand experiment. Will you embark on a journey to the fresh new world? I would love to. How fortuitous. I swear by every gray hair on this head that I will not regret it. The first task is to head to the city gates in the northern San Andrea. There you will find someone engaged in the ballista type of mock skirmish. Some call them by the moniker of the Grand Hero of San Andrea. As you've already surmised, experimental magic may have unknown effects on the world, so he is very careful to ensure the safety of everyone involved. In fact, he is so dedicated to this goal that he himself stepped up as the nation's first participant in the program. The two other grand nations, Barstock and Winterston, have also seen others step up to try their hand at this wonderful manifestation of the arcane. But we will need to leave those journeys for a later date. Your first step starts here in San Andrea, where you will garner the services of one of Vandaale's more storied heroes. Yes. Stupendous. Under my expert tutelage here in San Andrea, you will surely grasp the basics of trust in no time. Take this letter of introduction with you and head to Rampier Gate in northern San Andrea. To get to northern San Andrea, you must first head west of here and then north towards Victory Square. Rampier Gate. After reaching northern San Andrea, you are to make for Rampier Gate. Once there, seek out Exenmeal and pray do not affront him in any fashion. The words of a hero such as he carry unmatched weight in this land. Rampier Exenmeal. Where'd my crystal go? There it is. Those people that are standing there, like, I don't understand. Did they teleport? And it's like their ghost or something? Right there, Rampier Gate. We'll walk. Learn after a while, you get used to these people. Like I know some of the NPCs already. You eventually know all of them. Been here. There he is. I am Examil, am Arichat, overseer of all conflict-related matters. Nice hair. I see you wish to try your hand at trust. In bygone times, I might have said that adventurers were to be kept at an arm's distance like the deranged mother of one's partner. Yet when I choose to revive the ancient tradition of conflict and ballista, it was you, the adventurers, who headed the call to battle. As such, I shall permit you to engage in the trust ritual with me. You are not aware of what trust magic is. Sometimes I wonder if Gondabad's head is filled with not but cobwebs. The trust ritual draws forth energy from ardent bonds of trust and camaraderie as are forged betwixt brothers in arms upon the battlefield. To cut to the quick, if a strong bond exists between the two of us, you will be able to summon an alter ego of me. Indeed, I could drive your foes into the sea as I did the orcs of Razor. Problem is, I could hardly pick you out of the lineup with similarly built individuals. Yes, I am ready to commit to the ritual. Come, take my hand and concentrate on the bonds that the two of us have forged. What the? Disgraceful. No, I'm not displeased. I'm rather pleasantly surprised at our joint success. What is disgraceful is the very thought that there could be two of me. How can my power be unmatched when there are two of X and Miles? Think of it, Tarn 7. Think of the possibilities that magic could open up if only we harness it properly. A whole army of X and Miles could even... Yes, the Orc Empire would likely prostrate babe crying out for its mother's milk. Haha. Would you fancy that? Tonight we drink, tomorrow we vanquish. I'm warming to the idea of this trust more and more. What the? This is a very creepy hip thrust. Though I must admit, I barely expected success to come so easily. I triumphed in the bonding once before. It was with my old friend Rahal, leader of the Royal Knights, but all of those who have come after have failed spectacularly. But that man can be so infuriating. Go here, hold your sword like this. Turn 90 degrees and touch your nose. Make sure you do not fall into the same trap. In commemoration of this monumental event, I hereby present you with a scroll containing all we have achieved. Using this, you should enable to use some of my alter ego. I advise you to try your hand at your nearest convenience, outside of town, that is. May I suggest east or west Ranfour? They are both nearby and provide ideal conditions for you to try out this newfound power. When you are finished, return here and inform me as to how you are progressing. Excellent mail. Okay. Done.
NPC, Naji in this case. Head to the Metalworks and speak with him and he'll give you his trust. You can't cast him inside of town, so head back out to Port Bastok, head out the gate to North Gustaberg, and then cast him by selecting him under your trust magic, after remembering it's at the appropriate Summoning an Alter Ego quest. Head back to the Metalworks and tell him what a disappointment he was, and just like that, you've unlocked the ability to summon trust. If you set the quest, you should also now have a scroll. You can't use it like you would a spell, but if you take it to the appropriate trust NPC, you'll be able to use that character as a trust. You'll notice you have a new objective in your quest as well to summon that character, and completing that quest earns you another trust scroll on another quest. It is a bit tedious to do it, but it's worth just doing it for the other trust, and hey, you're getting paid to do it and spark some experience, so might as well. You'll earn other trust as you play the game, and there are over 100 trusts, each with its own unique set of abilities and priorities. So, as they say, gotta catch 'em all. You're almost ready to be turned loose into the world of Vana'diel once again, but
Summon that trust. Do I have to fight an enemy or can I just summon it? Oh, like some might. Let's attack that rabbit. Let's go back and get another trust scroll. Yeah, it says downloading data, which technically it is, but yeah. Oh shoot, I didn't set that. Let's try that again. Undertake an FOV training regime. Seek to one of the following records of evidence. Which I did. So yeah, once it turns that color, it looks like it's complete. Undertake an FOV training regime. Build that using magic. Should take that. Turn green if I'm vanquish one enemy. True information about obscure speeding G-course more so. Okay, that sounds boring. Synthesis quests. Complete the quest, growing flowers from your log house. Obtain a chocobo license, which I already did. Speak to the guard in front of the gatehouse and complete smash the order scout. Deal the requisite amount of total damage to enemies. 10,000. Yeah, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna happen. Use weapon skills the requisite number of times. 100. So we can set these at any time, actually.
Now, we're gonna go back to the ready to be turned loose. So, as your trust, it is to work just another trust goal, objectiving your quest as well to summon that character and complete trust. You'll notice you have a new objective in your quest as well to summon that character and completing that. You'll notice you have a new trust NPC. You'll be able to use that character as a trust. You'll notice you have appropriate trust NPC. I'll have a scroll. You
Oh, very streamy. To paść je.
You can't use it like you would a spell.
Okay, I gotta jump off. I will be back. See you next stream.